What's going on, peoples? This is Lee Majors once again. I'm up here at the Crown Royal. As you know, uh, we got these different segments on the channel that we gonna be having as far as how to manage your money, different uh, different financial like techniques and strategies and shit that I'm gonna be sharing on here. But anyway, I'm gonna fall right into it. As far as like investing into infrastructure, where I'm having a discussion with y'all, man. Like, first, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Anything that you actually doing, all right, you have to put money into. Anything that you're doing, you have to put money into. So I'm a definitely show y'all something. If you pay for your car, you have to put money into your car. This is a different way that you have to look at this shit as far as how to deal with the inflation and all that shit in the times or whatever, right? If your car need gas, you need to know how much miles to the gallon that the car takes, so that way that you can put the exact amount on what you need. You have to make sure that you itemize all of whatever the fuck it is that you purchase for the gas. And I'm just using the car as an example. Today I had a discussion today, right, with one brother. I asked him, do you count everything into your house? Because we have a tendency of, as black people, we have a tendency of overbuying shit, at the house. People don't do inventory no more. And inventory, if you do the inventory exactly right, that's an extra couple $100 that you could put into something else and finance something else. When it comes to money management, and how to run a functionable business, I believe that one's household should be ran like a Fortune 500 company. Your household is your company, and that's how you have to look at that shit. Now, the different angles of what I'm saying is that if you yourself do inventory in the house and you make sure that you got all the proper necessities in the house, then you actually free up money other different places, or you free up money from those categories, and you could put that money into that category by rolling those monies over. All right? I don't know if people understand this or whatever, but, like I said, if you did the inventory in the house, and you ain't got to buy no food, then what you would have had to spend on food that the month after that, you could put on the phone bill, and then et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The main thing is to pay your bills up ahead of time, and I keep telling people this, and you will actually see a profit. Nobody is paying attention to this shit. All they doing is just spending their money, living comfortable, and you just spending it, and you're not really keeping an eye on it. A lot of these people, man, by how a motherfucker manages his household, it shows the capability on how you will be able to manage your business. If you can't manage your household, how can you manage your fucking business? If you can't manage, $1,500 a month or whatever and make that shit work, how could you manage $150,000 a year? So I think that we need to start a new approach, within how the way that we looking at things. So I get into a bit of a brief story, I get into a bit of a brief story on a conversation that I had with a brother today, right? I asked him, do he itemize everything in his house? He said no. He said money comes and goes or whatever like that, right? So I asked him something. I said, well, how much do you actually keep? How much do you actually invest your money? He talking about how do you get it? I can go out and get it again. Well, you get older. Nobody invests into the infrastructure. And the infrastructure is, all right, what are you going to do when you get 60? You have to invest at least about 14 to 15% of your earnings every year for the next 30, 40, 50 years. Because this shit is played, long term, yo. You know what I'm saying? This is not a sprint. This is not a sprint whatsoever. So we talked about it. Of course, he believed what he believed. I didn't press the issue or anything like that. And then he said, oh, well, you got to show me this, that, and the other. I said, well, I didn't have time to really actually explain the infrastructure and what I was talking about. Meaning, you got stocks, bonds, I-bonds, insurance policies and shit. You got mutual funds and shit like that investing into the infrastructure. Everybody who I know that invests into the infrastructure, they don't get bothered by inflation. How can you be bothered by inflation when you investing into the shit that you're using? So, we have to all understand that if you don't have strategy for your money or place or shelters for your money to where as though your money is working, then you're not investing into the infrastructure in which you're dwelling in. And that's the problem that I'm having with people is the money management problem. People want Quaker Quickums, instant grits, want to make $100,000 a year. It don't mean shit if you not doing something with a percentage of that $100,000 that you making. You just living off of a certain amount. It just puts you in a certain tier. But if you not setting that money up to protect you and building on it, even let's just say, fuck it. For instance, you don't even want to open up a business. Let's just say if you just invest the money, period. Let's just say you just invest, that you just invest the money, that you just make investments, that you just invest 14 to 15% every month. That's still looking out for your future self. I just think, man, that people have to organize the way that they doing things. The money is there. 9 times out of 10, people overspend. They don't itemize or calculate every critical thing. And this is fucked up because you end up fucking yourself in the end. You can easily spend $500 a month and not know that you're doing that shit. When that $500 could go towards a bill or credit card bill or financing something. Money always have to be moved around. This is what you call economics, the economy. Money always have to be moved around. If you don't move it around, if it's sitting there, it ain't gonna be worth shit. So you always have to move it around. You know what I'm saying? Don't save no money, pay the rent up. Anytime you're sitting on extra money, if it's not, and I repeat, if it's not an emergency fund, for one, you're supposed to have 6 months of expenses saved up just in case if shit hit the fan or something happened. 2, far as the shit hit the fan account, you're supposed to have a secondary savings, that you got that backs the shit hit the fan account up. So that way you could buy some time to fix whatever problem that it is. Thirdly, you don't have to save money. All you have to do is keep the bills paid. Now, the rate of you keeping the bills paid versus the rate of the amount of work that you're working, you'll have the necessary capital there. You can see your money work for you. I ask everybody up in here, like, you got a lot of the barbers up in here, man, have it ever occurred to you to pay your booth rent up for like 2-3 months at a time? Can you do that? Can you fast from something to pay your booth rent up 2-3 months at a time? Because if you was to actually do that, then it will put you in a surplus. If you pay the bills up. I tell people that month-to-month shit is for the birds, man. It really truly is. When you narrow it down to the most simplest to the most simplest thing as far as how you manage your household. Look at how you manage your household. If you are struggling to pay any bill, then it says something about your money management. That you got too much going out and you don't have, a whole lot staying in. And what I mean by a whole lot staying in, some of the time, dude, I may not go out for 2 or 3 months to make sure that that the bills are paid up for 2 or 3 months at a time. And then once when we have it like that, I have the next 3 to 4 months of clear room to do whatever I want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Really try that shit. Pay your bills ahead of time. It don't cost you nothing to rearrange the strategy on how to make your money protect you more than your money going against you. You doing that month-to-month shit, nah, man. I could see if you can't do it month-to-month. Even still then, you could do month-to-month with some other bill that could free up some other cash for you to constantly have cash for the month-to-month. You could also do it like that too. Like you work on your smallest bill. Like the phone bills. You know what I'm saying? You drop more money on the phone bills. You free that up. You look out for your future self. If you working all these hours and doing all this work and shit, it should amount and account for something, man. Like, word up. Like, you know, I mean, pay the rent double time. That's what you have to do. Pay the rent double time because it will free you up to deal with other shit. And then it's snowballing in that. And then next thing you know, you've been to pay all your bills up about 6 months. Now you got 6 months freely to do whatever you need to do, and you can still work at a nice pace without burning yourself out. So we talk about cash management. We talk about money management. Managing your money. Making every dollar effective. We got to wake up, people. You got to itemize everything that you're doing these days because they going up on every motherfucking thing. And certain things you need, certain things that you don't need. But one thing that I will say is that as long as you got your basic necessities paid attention to, everything else is extra, man. Everything else is extra. You understand what I'm saying? So you really have to look at that. Look at where all your money is going. Collect all those receipts. Look at what you're doing throughout the week. Look at how much money you have to function off. Understand what your operational budget is. So that way that you can keep operating. Don't go over your numbers. Make sure you stay under. Stay under your numbers. That's why when you save money, it's not the factor of saving money, but it's the factor of staying under a certain number so you won't go over. So that way you won't hurt yourself. Less activity and more saving is good. Because that money that you save and free up, you could put into something else. You could pay the rent off for months at a time. You could pay your phone bill off for months at a time. And all it's going to do is you just going to relinquish more cash. Because what you would have paid for it will roll over to the next month. So this is how you have your money working for you instead of against you. And on that note, I'm going to close this out, man. You know what I'm saying? This is cash placement. You know what I mean? Like the talk on cash placement and money management, man. This is Lee Majors. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got like over 100 and something videos on here talking about this shit. You know, we supposed to work smarter, not harder. You know, so take this knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? And really put it to use. Because we ain't getting no younger. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta watch out for your retirement and see how you gonna retire and all this other shit. I'm trying to tell you, you gotta think ahead, man. Peace.